welcome to TMZ Live. Harvey Levin here.
Charles here.
We got some very disturbing footage of a very big movie that was shot and is about to come out wide called A Dog's Purpose. And the video shows a terrified German Shepherd being cajoled and pushed into the water by a trainer.
You can see this dog from the outset does not want to go in. Is leaning against the trainer, trying to run away. I'll let you listen to a little bit of what's going on here.
Oh, he wants to get away. Just throw him in. Oh, here it goes. Oh, he's going to end up going in with him. Here, boy. Oh, no.
I mean, you can decide. And I know that there's a person there on set who's laughing, but we've spoken to people connected to the production, and we know that there was at least one person who was extremely disturbed by what they saw going on the set. I mean,
now, by the way, we also have the dog in the water.
The dog does eventually get into the water. Now watch what happens.
So this is the dog in the water, clearly not wanting to.
It quickly goes under.
Yeah, the dog went under.
You can hear the director yelling, or someone yelling, "Cut it, cut it," and the handlers rush in. Actually, we spoke to the people who produced the movie. It's Amblin Entertainment. Universal is the distributor.
And they said that we sent them the video before we posted it on the website, and they said that they are looking at this. They said that they're investigating it. They care deeply about these animals. And again, this, sometimes there are mandates that go out, from executives, and then the way they're executed is a whole other thing. But the quote, and I want to give this out of fairness, fostering a safe environment and ensuring the ethical treatment of our animal actors was of the utmost importance to those involved in making this film, and we will look into the circumstances surrounding this video. So they are clearly concerned about what they saw. They're looking at other clips to see if they can give this some context.
We should explain also. This is a pool that was built in outside Winnipeg, Canada, when they were filming this in 2015. What you're seeing there is they have outboard motors in the pool to create this. They're trying to recreate the scene of a rushing river, and the dog jumps in. So it's just really, it's tough to watch.
And just a little background here too, you guys. The director that you hear say "cut it" is Lasse Hallström, and he has a lot of experience with working with animals. He did a movie in the past called Hatchie, A Dog's Tale. So this is not his first rodeo. He's definitely worked with animals before, which for me personally makes me a little concerned, knowing that he has done movies like this before about maybe the treatment
we don't know
of
that
their animals
anything
on
happened on any other set.
And also there are directors. They have sometimes multiple directors, and we don't know what scene.
No,
I don't want to.
But we are told. We're told by the people connected to this that Lasse was on set during the shooting here.
So again, Amblin is investigating this. They are looking at it. On its face, it's really
best
really
we know.
disturbing.
By the way, the dog is okay.
The dog seems like it's okay.
Yeah, the dog was not didn't drown
right there,
here or
it's like
anything
this
like that.
Very, very disturbing to look at. But the guy's name is Lasse. He should know better. That's like that.
I think it's pronounced Lasse.
It's
Lasse.
Spanish, sure.
I'm saying,
Really, man?
trying to lighten the mood, man. You guys, man,
not light,
There's
man.
no reason to lighten the mood, man.
You're watching me. That's very sad. I had a German Shepherd growing up. It's very tough to watch. We can all agree that's bad stuff.
Another thing too is, there's a lot of movies that are opting to not use animals anymore. Like The Jungle Book, for example, really got praised for just doing animation to have their animals be the stars, and not
there's a way
using animals.
There's a way to use animals on set, and obviously not to take it that far. The dog looks terrified. Right
and if there are animals on set, they're a lot of the times really regulated. Like for Wolf of Wall Street, for example, when Jonah Hill had to swallow the goldfish, that specific scene, PETA was actually on scene there, making sure the treatment of a goldfish was okay. So it's sad that this wasn't regulated.
And guys, kind of interesting, in the trailer for this movie, you actually see the scene that appears to be the one they're filming in that pool where the German Shepherd jumps in and saves the guy. The movie, I don't know if you saw it, it's about a dog. It's like the reincarnation of a dog through different lives. So this was one of them.
And by the way, it could well be, I just got a gut here, and I'm again, this is just my gut. is that this dog was probably okay during most of the filming, but at times wasn't okay.
Right.
And then the issue is when the dog isn't okay, do you take a break or do you say the show must go on because we're filming
Or
and
you
it's
have
funny
another,
and it's
or you have
everything
another
else?
dog.
Or you have another dog.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Tia Cross. I'm calling from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I find this very concerning. Let's just hope it's not true, especially because this could be very damaging to the movie's reputation before it's even out. A dog's purpose is supposed to be enlightening. Dog lovers don't want to go to see a movie where animals have been mistreated. If it's not true, let's just say their ratings will reflect on its innocence.
Okay, we are going to move on. This is an interesting story.
It's interesting, and honestly, we were talking about it this morning. I was honestly confused. President Obama, look, every president does this right before they leave office. They
commute sentences.
They commute sentences, and President Obama commuted the sentence of a man named Oscar Lopez Rivera, and Lin-Manuel Miranda celebrated this. Was so excited about it. Lin-Manuel Miranda,
the
of course,
brainchild of Hamilton.
Played Hamilton in the original cast. Well, he has said that he will now go back and play Alexander Hamilton again, just one night in the Chicago production, because he wants to do this for Oscar Lopez Rivera. Now, we should explain the confusion here on Oscar Lopez Rivera and the complicated history of him. He has been serving a 70-year sentence since 1981. He was involved in a group called FALN. It's Spanish for Puerto Rican Liberation, or Puerto Rican Liberation. He was fighting with this organization to get Puerto Rico liberated from the United States. As part of their activities, they conducted bombings.
Which resulted in deaths.
4 deaths in New York City. They also...
they attacked a police headquarters in New York City as well.
So, he was convicted of seditious conspiracy.
So that is not, he wasn't convicted of killing any of these people, of bombing or any of that stuff. This is essentially, banding together to conspire to do harm to America and do harm to people.
But now, so Lin-Manuel said that he's excited. Now, Lin-Manuel, of course, is of Puerto Rican descent. And he and several other celebrities, famous Puerto Rican celebrities, are celebrating the fact that Oscar Lopez Rivera is going to be released in May. And that has upset a lot of police officers around the country.
Yeah, Charles, I spoke to somebody high-ranking in the NYPD, which was attacked in the bombings attack, and they are upset. They're incensed about it. First, it's a slap in the face to all the working cops that this sentence gets commuted.
That's what they're saying.
Yeah, and then they're appalled at Lin-Manuel that he would even, do this, being a New York guy and go against the cops and, be for a terrorist.
We should say that, this is a complicated, as Charles said, it's complicated. I mean, Bernie Sanders has been
not only Bernie Sanders, former President Jimmy Carter, Desmond
Bill
Tutu,
Clinton,
I believe Bill Clinton
yes,
as
Bill
well.
Clinton.
Corey Scott King. A lot of people have.
I will be honest. I'm having some trouble understanding.
They have
this.
marched for his release, and I guess the complicated part is, look, when you look at what the organization did, and that there were at least 4 fatalities due to their activities, it makes you think, look, this is not a good guy. But his supporters would say he was never convicted of anything involving those
But yet he's part of the organization.
Listen, once again, like I said, I've talked this before. I've had family members, or they passed away now, that were involved in the Black Panthers. And when you look at an organization even like that, obviously there were some issues or some incidents that happened with them, fringe people inside the group that actually were involved in violent things. But overall, the whole message, the entire thing is kind of summed up by that. You know what I mean? So I think that in this situation, the complexity kind of is the same deal.
Hey, I'm Kathy in Detroit, former police officer, former veteran, or actually still a veteran. As far as what Lynn is talking about, I am with him. I think that it's okay for somebody who is a member of an organization, not the one who's created the organization, to be resolved in this issue. And I think that it's helpful to the rest of the world to see that human rights do matter, and this Puerto Rican leader did matter.
I mean, yeah, it's... Wow. Look, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we have done some digging about what's going to happen on Friday, the inauguration. There are a bunch of lawyers who have band together now to try and protect demonstrators from cops. And the word on the ground that we're going to tell you about is there are going to be arrests. The probably going to be a lot of arrests, and there's going to be a lot of civil disobedience
across the entire country, I think. Welcome back to TMZ Live. Just a couple days from the inauguration now, and there is, aside from the inauguration itself, there's clearly going to be a lot of civil unrest in D.C. and I think in several cities across the country. And that means there are going to be some arrests, and guess what? Lawyers are now lining up to do their part as soon as those arrests happen.
We have been doing a lot of legwork on these stories, and what we found was that there are dozens and dozens and dozens of lawyers, especially in D.C., who are putting the word out, number one, that they are going to donate their time, they are not going to charge, and they're going to represent a lot of the people who they expect will get arrested. That's number one. Number two, they believe that there's a real chance of police abuse that they're guarding against. What's happened is a lot of people were getting arrested in D.C. for civil disobedience, but sometimes not even civil disobedience, it was just speaking their mind, which is protected speech. And the law in D.C. has changed as a result of all of this conflict, so that now, for example, if the police see a crowd, they can't encircle the crowd just because they see a few people here and there who might be doing illegal things. If you encircle the crowd, it's got to be because the crowd itself generally is posing a threat.
So
and they can't.
Instead of encircling the crowd, what they're supposed to just engage the individual.
The individuals,
right.
And if somebody is marching without a permit, even though legally you need one, that is no longer a basis for arresting anybody in D.C. So there are all sorts of new rules. The complication is they are bringing 5,000 National Guardsmen in from all over the country. They're bringing 3,000 officers in, so it's going to go way beyond just D.C. cops who are trained in this law. It's going to be all sorts of cops because there are so many security issues.
Will they all know the changes to the law once they get there?
That's right. And as a result of all of this, they are expecting a lot of arrests, and part of it is that what the lawyers are telling us is they now fully expect that people are going to break the law and break it in protest.
And Harvey, they say that because they feel that there's such a growing number of people this election cycle and through Trump's campaign that feel that their voices weren't heard. And I spoke with the leader at the NLG, and he thinks that it's very real.
We should say what the NLG is.
The National
Lawyers Guild.
Lawyers Guild, correct. It's one of the groups heading up this free representation thing. But he said, these people, they feel that their voices haven't been heard, and this may be their time that they finally feel, you know what, I need to act out, I need to be heard, and this is the time to do it.
It's interesting, just as a side note, when you're a law student, you're allowed to go to court, usually your third year of law school, when you go into the legal aid clinic, and you have to be supervised by somebody, but the law students in D.C. are part of this group. So a lot of law students are actually donating their time, and they're going to be doing the same thing. My gut on this is there's going to be craziness around the country on Friday.
So what you're saying is if you get arrested in D.C., you might end up with like a lawyer who's just sort of practicing. Who's just warming up and doesn't really know their stuff yet.
I don't want to diminish this, but I got to tell you a quick story. There was a guy in my law school class, it was a long time ago, but a guy in my law school class who was in legal aid, and he was defending this guy who was on trial for murder. I mean, he wasn't leading the case, but they got him involved in this thing. And so he was telling me every day, we're doing this, we're doing this, we're doing this, and all of a sudden he stopped talking. So I finally, like a week later, said to him, what happened in the case? And he says, well, the guy got convicted, but I made great arguments.
Hey guys, it's India Sweet here from Fort Washington, Maryland. And actually, I live about 15, 20 minutes outside of downtown DC. And all they've been talking about here are the protests, even people protesting at Trump Hotel, like here on a nightly basis. But it'll be really interesting to see what happens Friday. But guys, I got a really quick question. Do you think when Donald Trump takes the oath of office that he's going to put his hand like on the Bible, or is it going to hover around the top? Because if he touches it, it might burn his hand.
Wow. See, and this is, I'm telling you.
You could see the wind-up. You could see the wind-up coming on that one.
But I got to say, I'm worried about Friday.
Really?
I really am. I just think that this could be a bad scene. Okay, somebody who's trying to put a good face on a bad scene. I love this story.
Which one are you talking about?
That would be the Obama dog.
Oh, yes. Yes, well, Michelle Obama was doing a little PR, I think, for Sonny. because you remember we broke the story.
This is hilarious.
We broke the story last week. It's not funny. That part isn't funny.
No.
From last week when Sonny bit a guest at the White House, bit her on the face and drew blood. She had to get stitches.
This is the second White House dog.
Yes. So now, just days left in the White House, Michelle Obama decided she was going to put up a little video with Sonny and also Beau, I think, to show, look, everybody's fine. Everybody's
rehabilitating Sonny's image.
Oh yeah, everybody's just fine, right? Reagan, go back to when Michelle called to them for the first time, all right? I'll hopefully have a slow-mo here, but you can see when she first calls to them and they come running in, there's one dog that barks and nips at the other. Yeah, see that one right there on the right? That would be Sonny.
That was almost no harm, no foul.
That was Sonny. I know, she's just playing around. But anyway.
It is amusing. And again, remember, the girl got bit in the face. She's 18 years old. She was upset with Sonny. She's got a little scar, but the dog has never bit before.
Yeah, and look, she seems
Sonny's
fine.
the younger dog. Come on, she's a little more playful. Beau's the old dog. He's tired. He wants to vacation in Palm Springs with the Obamas and relax.
Which we were going to talk about, by the way.
Yes, we will. We'll get to that.
Jesse, Jesus Salazar, Burbank, California. So obviously we've seen the vicious attack. It happened. You know, my thing is if they knew they had a guest coming to the house, why not put the gorilla up? I mean, obviously Beau was like, oh, tired, you know, and the other dog is kind of like he's super hyperactive. But you know what? I'm all for it, and the people have been great. And if it was my dog, it would have been put down like a canine. So.
Oh.
No, come on.
No.
Every dog, well, no, that's not true anymore.
No, it's not true anymore.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on to Chris Brown, who, again, showing he's a very artistic guy, but sometimes I think he screws up a good thing. This case, it would be his sports car. I think is it a Lambo or is it a Ferrari?
Looks like a Lambo. I think it's a Lambo.
And yeah, look what he decided to wrap it in.
Why?
Well, because Chris has been a big anime fan for a long time. This
that
character,
Goku?
You got it, man. Exactly. That's Goku from Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, well, if you knew
I don't know what that is.
If you knew the significance of Goku, you know that he's wrapping his car up in a hero that saved the entire universe from bunches of evil invading sort of marauders. Goku is a Saiyan. He's of the Saiyan race. He levels up. He becomes a Super Saiyan. His hair becomes blonde. He beats Cell.
Does this have anything to do with Pokemon?
Here's my.
That has nothing to do with
No, that's the worst thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
I'm just asking.
Nothing to do with Pokemon and Dragon Ball Z are completely different things. That's honestly, that's racist.
It is racist.
You're racist.
You're racist. You're
How
racist
is that
against
racist?
Saiyans. You're racist against Saiyans.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
It's like all
I didn't know what
Japan
you guys were
animation
talking about.
characters look the same.
All I know is Chris Brown had a beautiful Lamborghini, and now
And the market value just went down because.
So what? It's
Down.
stronger now. He
Gone.
should have had golden hair though. It should have went Super Saiyan.
You should watch Dragon Ball Z. It's
You
good.
should.
Okay.
Very good.
I'm
Shout out to
going
Vegeta, by the way. Vegeta, baby.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but we started about Vegeta.
Yeah.
You guys
Vegeta.
done?
we are
done?
we're gonna take a break. They're not done. They'll still be going more in the break. But when we come back, D.L. Hughley goes on the attack against Martin Luther King III for something he didn't say during his meeting with Donald Trump. When we come back, another member of the King family will be here, I think, to defend Martin Luther King III. We'll see what her take is. Welcome back to TMZ Live. There are still some very, very heated people, including D.L. Hughley, just so upset about Donald Trump and Martin Luther King III meeting, and also about what Donald Trump said about Representative John Lewis and what John Lewis said about Donald Trump. I'm telling you, people are really heated. And maybe this is what you're saying about Friday.
I mean, it's all a powder keg.
Yeah, and when you hear how angry D.L. Hughley is here at Martin Luther King III, I think I actually am now starting to understand what you're saying about concerns for Friday. But this is what he had to say about what Martin Luther King III did not say to Donald Trump.
Trump met with MLK III, and he approved. Should we all approve? That MLK tried to sell his daddy's Nobel Peace Prize too, right? And the Bible. So he seems a little desperate for money to be paying attention. He was wrong for what he said about John Lewis. And if Martin Luther King had the balls his father Jr., he had the balls his father did, he'd have said it. You can say wrong is wrong.
Wow.
Wow.
Martin Luther King,
not Burger King. Yeah, he is. You can hear how pissed he is.
No, he's
you
really
feel
upset
what's
about it.
going on right now.
And we should say, look, we're going to bring in actually Martin Luther King III, his cousin, Alveda King, and she actually has something to say about D.L. Hughley and also to say about Donald Trump, because you may have heard she actually voted for Donald Trump. So Alveda joins us right now. Alveda, how are you doing? Welcome to TMZ Live.
Well, I'm really glad to join you, and I'm not really so upset about those remarks towards my cousin Martin, because Martin had the same teacher that I did. And when I say that, we're the King family legacy. Martin III is the son of Martin Luther King Jr., named after his daddy, and Coretta Scott King. My dad is Reverend A.D. King. My mother's Naomi King. They were brothers, you see. And so we were taught that we don't really respond. To respond from an emotional frequency is not going to get you any solutions. So even when you're attacked, even when you are oppressed, even when hatred is all around you, you don't respond to that. You respond with what's called agape love.
There is an issue on the table, which is Donald Trump saying that John Lewis was all talk and did nothing, and when that has really offended
because
a lot of people.
Because John Lewis marched with your uncle. You know.
My take, as a matter of fact, my daddy, A.D., was on the same Edmund Pettus Bridge, and he was beat up that same day that John Lewis was beat up. And so I know John Lewis, the legendary, the legend, the warrior, the peacemaker, the bridge builder. And that's really the skills that we need now, rather than the emotional skills or the political skills. Now, John Lewis is a politician today, but he still has those warrior instincts for peace and justice.
Alveda, what do you make of Representative John Lewis saying that Donald Trump is an illegitimate president?
Well, as I say, Congressman Lewis is functioning from that political viewpoint right now, and I'm really praying that he kind of steps over into that peacemaker, bridge builder role. Because, see, both of those are really John Lewis, the politician and the peacemaker. So I would like to see the peacemaker again. That's really what I'm saying. But I have tremendous respect for John Lewis. So I'm not going to say anything negative, because he's contributed, period. He's contributed for his whole life. He really has.
Alveda, you know, obviously with tremendous, I say this with tremendous respect for your family and everything that they've done for America. I'm just wondering if you have heard or felt any backlash with the news that you actually voted for Donald Trump. I would think it would be difficult for people to assail your family or anybody in your family, but I'm just curious if you have had any backlash.
I've spent quite a bit of time with Bernice King, my cousin as well, Martin's sister, and she was speaking in Montgomery at Dexter Avenue Baptist Church. And I was there with her, and she stood up and she says, well, I voted for Hillary Clinton, and my cousin Alveda voted for Donald Trump. You could really feel the daggers, and the whole congregation went like, you know. And I said, Bernice, why did you do that? So she did explain in the conversation at Martin Luther King Week that you can't make assumptions about why people do things until you talk to them and ask why they did it. So I do get backlash. People say, well, you voted for him, I still love you, I forgive you. I say, this is America. We can vote for who we decide to vote for. Why do you have to forgive me for voting for Donald Trump? I said, I don't think I need to forgive you for not voting for Donald Trump. Why do you have to forgive me? We're one human race. Martin Luther King said we must learn to live together. I'm saying Junior, or perish as brothers and sisters. I added sisters, or perish as fools. We're one human race, one blood. Acts 17:26, we're not even separate races. Unless we are the Dragon Ball Z y'all were talking about. Maybe that
Alveda, let's not get back on Dragon Ball Z. These guys will
please.
Yeah.
Listen, thank you so much for spending the time with us. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for the opportunity. I love you all. I really do. Thank you.
Thank you, Alveda.
Thank you, Alveda.
Okay, we are going to take a break.
All right. When we come back, Lady Gaga, her Super Bowl halftime performance, will it feature an attack on Donald Trump, a Meryl Streep-ish type attack? The NFL says, why not? Welcome back to TMZ Live. Lady Gaga's Super Bowl halftime show may feature a lot more than music. there was a report that she was banned by the NFL from saying anything political. Gaga is very famously taken an anti-Trump stance.
And this is all coming on the heels of the Golden Globes with Meryl Streep.
Right. And so some people were thinking that maybe that was going to happen. There was a report the NFL had banned her. Well, we spoke to people at the NFL. Not so. In fact, we're told there's been no restriction on what Gaga can say when she's on stage.
Yeah, here's the deal. Lady Gaga is extremely political. She's very outspoken. Everybody knows this. She's been doing stuff like wearing the meat dress for a very long time, right? So there was a report that came out that said that the NFL had approached her and told her, during your Super Bowl performance, no talk of politics, no mention of Donald Trump. We don't want you to use our stage to further your political agenda, whatever it is. But the NFL is very strong about this. They're saying that's not true. I kind of have an issue with the side rail saying trash talk if you want. They're not saying go out and talk trash. They're saying, they're just saying, we never told her there are restrictions to her performance.
I agree, Evan. I had this conversation with Mr. Reagan before the show.
Not doing it.
Nope. But I agree with you, Evan. There's a difference between saying we didn't tell her she can't do it, than from them saying go ahead and do it. But will she?
Boy, they're not going to encourage her to do it.
No, they're never going to encourage her.
And by the way, I think it'd be perilous to do what Meryl Streep did. I mean, I don't think she would do that, but I think it would be perilous to do what Meryl Streep did in the stadium.
I don't think she will.
I think that you can bet on it.
I don't think she's going to do it.
You think she will?
I think, number one, if she were to do it and it went off well, it would be the shot in the arm, really, to be honest with you, that I think Lady Gaga kind of needs right now. I think it gets her name back on people's lips. I think she does it for sure.
Name back on lips. Right, she's playing the Super Bowl halftime show.
I know, but prior to, I get it, but Lady Gaga's kind of been down a little bit.
Let's not pretend she's like the top star in the world right now, Reagan.
She has been harder. No evidence she is one of the top stars in the world. She's playing the Super Bowl halftime show, guys.
I know.
You have such a limited amount of time when you're up there.
The Who played the Super Bowl halftime show when no one had heard from the Who in 15 years.
I know, but there's publicity and there's publicity, and I think this is not the audience that wants to hear the political views of entertainers.
I mean, here's the bottom line. Last year, when there were a ton of incidents involving violence against African Americans, Beyonce took the stage and she did the Black Power fist. She raised that, right? And we spoke with Les Moonves about this, who runs CBS, and he said he didn't have a problem with it. And he never went and told Beyonce not to do a demonstration like that. He says artists need to be artists and stuff like that. And he feels like Fox, who I believe is doing the Super Bowl this year, is having the same kind of mindset and approach toward Lady Gaga.
And by the way, that move for Beyonce, if you look at everything in its totality, was a net good. That spurred her forward.
Yeah, but it was also one kind of motion almost. We're talking about a speech, and that
I'm not saying she's going to make a speech. Dude, I'm saying there's a bunch of things she could do. She could wear the Love Trump tape.
Something.
Yeah, I don't think she's going to make a speech, Harvey.
Hi, my name is Erica Beckstead. I'm calling from Vancouver, Canada. A very famous person, Ozzy Osbourne, said, all publicity is good publicity. So I really think Lady Gaga is a class act, and I think that she's going to entertain the football fans first. And if anything comes out about Donald Trump, hopefully she does it with a little bit of grace so that she doesn't have people hating her, because we all love her so much. She's such a great entertainer.
You were saying or me?
I don't think Ozzy was the one who said that.
Ozzy was not the one who invented that. Okay.
It definitely wasn't Ozzy.
Okay, we're going to move on.
Moving on to where the Obamas are moving, or at least temporarily where they're going to be when they leave the White House. They're going to the desert. Going to get a little...
we broke the story on the website, but now we know exactly where they're going. We know the home they're going to. And it's not a surprise.
Yeah, it's very familiar.
By the way, two people who have deep ties to the Obama administration and era. Their interior designer and the ambassador to Spain, who he appointed. The two of them are together, and they have a home in Palm Springs. And the Obamas have stayed there before, and they're going to stay there on Friday. And there's a reason, aside from the camaraderie and friendship of them, there's a reason they're staying there. It is a super secure place.
Well, yeah, the home is actually in a community where obviously everyone going in will be vetted with their ties to going into the area. They'll have to show their ID, all of that stuff. So the security is obviously tight. It's on 8 acres. The home is huge, so they'll have their privacy and stuff. They stayed there 4 times, like you said.
It's in Thunderbird Heights in Rancho Mirage. You guys
have heard up on a hill?
Up on a hill.
It's at the very top, so nothing looks down on it. And you guys have, for those of you who are a little bit older, You remember Gerald Ford had a place in Rancho Mirage. The Reagans went to. This is a place a lot of presidents go to and a lot of retired presidents go to. But Obama loves golfing. It's a great place to golf. He's been at this house before. Beautiful house. They've completely gutted it and redone it.
Now, how long are they staying there?
Well, I'm told 2 weeks. I'm told 2 weeks.
Will their other place be ready at that point? Is that the...
Something tells me the contractors have put that at the top of the list. They're not going to walk in
and
say,
what do you do in Palm Springs for 2 weeks?
I'm really sorry, sir, but there's no running water today. But we're going to work on this, sir. We'll be back sometime tomorrow. I don't think that's
They're going to get bored in Palm Springs
No,
for
you know
2
what they do
weeks.
for 2 weeks? He's going to golf for 2 weeks.
No, but this is Michelle's
No one's
time.
going to be able
He
to
had
get a
8
tea
years.
time.
No, this is Michelle's time. He had 8 years. So, I mean, what's she going to do for 2 weeks?
Palm Springs is
Lay by a
awesome.
pool?
Palm Springs
Lay by the pool, go shopping.
Relax.
Maybe. Yeah, she might go ATV riding.
Train
They're going to
Sunny.
get bored.
Train Sunny.
Hi, Rosemary in Florida here. He had the most stressful job in the entire world for 8 years. He's not going to want to come back. I can't believe he wants to go back to D.C. at all. He might just move there.
Okay.
All right.
We have one more Trump thing to tell you about.
Yes, one quick thing. So there was a huge group, actually a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame group that wanted, that Donald Trump and the team, his transition team, had approached to play at the inaugural ball.
And they would have been great.
And they wanted to do it. The problem is they wanted $1 million.
Actually, a little more
I was told
than
they
$1
wanted
million.
over $1 million.
Over $1 million,
But
yeah.
Donald Trump's main thing is he's been wanting to keep the costs low, and he had wanted the people to do it for a lesser price. They didn't want to, so Donald Trump said, well, you're not worth it, so we're not going to do it.
By the way, his stock and trade has always been negotiating, and he's starting here.
By the way, there's a lot of money that supposedly
$90 million was raised for this inauguration, and
But
apparently
he's
that
still-
figure is kind of in line with other presidents. They raised a tremendous amount of money, so he's going to give the balance, the unused portion.
So the idea is don't pay acts tons of money because we want to save money and then end up giving that money to charity.
So that's the deal. So they're not going to play. You're asking why we're not going to say who the band is because we're not allowed to.
But they're big.
They're big.
They're very, very
Okay, we're going to
big.
take a break.
When we come back, we did have one more.
We do have one more.
We do have one more Trump thing. This one involves Waka Flocka, who, I don't know if you remember, he was actually going to run for president a while ago. He didn't. But now he has he's making a statement on Donald Trump, and he's using...
Charmin.
Welcome back to TMZ Live. Waka Flocka has a very definite opinion about the election results, and he let it be known to his fans in Georgia.
Fashion.
While he was performing in Georgia, noticed somebody with a Donald Trump jersey. I didn't know that those were a thing.
I think this was
You think it was a setup?
Yeah, I do.
Well, either way, it turned out pretty crappy.
Trump jersey, right?
He got it up in there.
The only saving grace is he did not throw it back into the audience and left, but someone had to pick it up off the stage.
Definitely a setup.
Definitely a setup. First of all, nobody's going to walk into that.
What you mean
exactly?
No.
What you mean that?
I think nobody's going to walk into that crowd with
that's
a
not how
Donald
you
Trump.
see. I love it. That's not how you said it before. Nobody's gonna walk into that crowd with the Donald Trump
You
jersey on.
interrupted me, and but that's the point. I mean, you saw what happened with Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, and what happened is Dave Chappelle was a lighthearted, fun moment where the guy got kicked out.
Right.
But I mean,
well, the guy got kicked out, man.
I know, but you're making it seem like the dude's walking into the middle.
No, he's going to get applauded, Van.
I mean, he's not going to get applauded. He got what he got, but I do agree that it was a setup. See how we agreed, but then somehow we ended up disagreeing.
Yeah, we disagree, but agree and disagree.
Yeah.
All wrapped up in
It's better that way.
Hi, Harvey and Charles. It's Jerica in LA. And when I seen the video, I was a little torn. On one hand, I feel like this is a symbolization of what the American people are going to be doing, is cleaning up Donald Trump's mess. But on the other end, I just never, ever want to see Waka Flocka's butt ever again. It's disturbing.
You saw a lot of his butt. Like almost. Never mind.
Okay, let's move on.
Yes, let's move on to hate mail. Your hate mail for us, read by us, and
it is nasty this
week. Tell Charles to shave. It looks like caterpillars are eating his face.
Well, at least yours is skin deep. Mine is not. Harvey, if you're going to kick the bucket this year, could you do it The last 2 weeks of July would be a nice addition to my summer vacation.
Damn.
I know. It's
Wow.
gonna believe me,
It's
they
too
got
far, man.
No, they got worse. They got worse. They want to kill me. They do.
It's not me they want to kill, but this isn't hate mail for Charles or Harvey. Yet it is a pure and strong dislike for that goatee-ish mustache thingy that is attacking Charles's face. There's a
they're
theme.
really going after you here.
There's a theme here.
Okay, Sergio, you got to point this at Tim because he's going to love this.
Oh,
so,
really?
Serge, point it at Tim.
Over this.
Okay, I don't know how to even read this. Harvey, you want hate blank? You're such a rude blanking blank. I'm canceling you. This is funny and you're a jerk. Go battle your dogs. I am deleting you from the DVR. Just can't watch your blank attitude anymore. Actually, it wasn't about Tim.
Yeah, what does that have to do with Tim?
No,
what was that?
No, time out.
What did you do?
Read. It says, I'm canceling you. Tim is funny. Go stage cam. Tim is funny.
Oh, you're right.
I'm canceling you. It is about Tim.
Okay, hold on.
You just completely misread that wrong.
I did. It was about Tim. Well, when I'm being attacked this way, I kind of get nervous.
I'm canceling you. Tim is funny.
Okay, well, it was about you, Tim.
Okay.
But you were funny.
Well,
Anyway.
good. At least we're keeping the theme going here. Hey, what's wrong with Charles? It appears that Charles is attempting to cover up some sort of illness by allowing that dirty-looking growth to continue.
Why are you doing
What are you
this to
talking
you?
Charles,
about?
dog, I like your goatee, bro. I don't know what's going on here, man. You're taking it on the chin.
Keep it coming. I'll keep going with it.
And as long
I
as
was
he
gonna
jumps
shave
in,
it, but
stay on Van for a second. Tell Van, welcome to the no-fly list and annual IRS audits.
Well, the suggestion is out there now, Van. So we'll see what happens. When we come back, a classic film about to be redone, and by the guy who created Blackish. He's having a great year, and now he's going to do White Men Can't Jump. We got him, and he told us something very interesting about the cast. I'm a little surprised. Welcome back to TMZ Live, and our good friend, I think I can call him that now because he's been on TMZ Live, and now he's been with on TMZ Sports. Kenya Barris, the creator of Blackish, is about to redo White Men Can't Jump. One of my, just a great movie. Wesley Snipes, Woody Harrelson.
How long ago was it?
It was in '92. Okay, well.
Wow. That was like 25 years ago?
Yeah.
How can that be?
So TMZ Sports got him online and asked Kenya about the cast, and guess who's going to be in it? Well, just watch. You'll find out.
I'm hoping.
What made you want to do a reboot of White Man Can't Jump?
Blake, we're not doing a remake as much as we're taking our movie in homage, you know what I'm saying, to that. Because the notion of one of like the White Man Can't Jump version of that movie, white men are winning dunk contests now.
What are the chances that at some point during this movie, obviously, basketball and acting crossing over, that you'll see Blake actually in the film?
High.
So Blake Griffin's going to be in the film.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. Blake Griffin, who's been really taking on Hollywood lately. We've seen Blake do stand-up comedy. He's performed with the Groundlings. He's done all kinds of stuff.
Great commercial, I might add.
All kinds of great commercials. So it seems natural that, him and Kenya are kind of conceptualizing this thing together, that Blake would show up in the movie.
Yeah, that's great.
So how do you do White Men Can Jump if white men now can?
Well, I mean, they can jump higher than they could before. So I don't know if
still relative.
Yeah,
relatively
still relative.
speaking.
But they're definitely jumping higher every single day, and we applaud them.
White Men Can't Jump as High as Black Men. It's just a longer title.
Hey guys, it's Mike from Toronto. My opinion on it is I don't think they should be making a remake of such a classic in the first place. Most classics, when they are remade, they don't turn out so well. Also, I think they're being a bit of a sellout by having a basketball player in the movie. It takes away from the whole point of having people playing in the streets, hustling for money.
Kenya didn't say that Blake Griffin's going to be like the main character.
A star.
Right.
Right. He might be
the cameo.
He might be the guy that they have to play at the end, the seemingly unbeatable foe that they have to get across to kind of win the whole deal.
Okay, so that's the screen. That's the screenwriter written by Van Layden.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, what else you guys want to talk about?
What else?
Hey, this is Candace from LA talking about A Dog's Purpose. I don't consider that to be animal abuse. I think that he might have been scared of the generators or whatever was used to have the water flowing. but I think that that's definitely not animal abuse at all.
I mean, I agree with you that maybe that is what he was afraid of, but the fact is he was clearly afraid.
I think
he didn't want to go in the water.
You just stop filming for a while.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi, I'm John from Seattle. Regarding the story about lawyers stepping up to protest inauguration protesters, it's great news because the rights for all Americans to assemble, protest, and demonstrate is constitutionally protected. So if the Trump regime wants to start off their administration by arresting thousands of American citizens for using their First Amendment rights, that's extremely unfortunate. Protesting is sacred, and protesting Donald Trump, who isn't the sharpest tool in the shed, and his oppressive regime and dangerous ties to Russia, it's extremely necessary. So I'm glad the Partnership for Civil Justice, National Lawyers Guild, and DC law students are stepping up to the plate. You know, for Trump, all that glitters is gold, but he should realize that only shooting stars like these protesters can break the mold.
If this show is broadcast in other countries, which I believe it is,
right?
Are they saying, how do you get elected? Because the only,
well,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like,
well, the popular vote was very close.
Well, no, but they're, anyway, we'll take a break.
The answer to them is the Electoral College. Okay, when we come
okay.
No, I understand exactly what you mean.
Okay, go on.
When we come back, the vice president-elect, we got him, our man Colin in D.C.
How did Colin get this close to him?
He got Mike Pence, and he got some news about what Mike Pence is going to be focusing on as he enters, well, he's not going to be in the White House, but he'll be close. Welcome back to TMZ Live.
This is going to go well.
Oh, really?
No.
Okay, so Mike Pence. Listen, so we got Mike Pence in D.C., our man Colin, on the ground there, always getting right up to the power players and asking them insightful questions. This one about Mike Pence's plans for fitness.
Mr. Vice President, still doing the running and jogging? You still have time for jogging?
Biking.
Biking now? Okay, man.
Bike riding.
All right.
I mean, I wish Colin would have asked some other questions.
Yeah.
I hope he changes his views on stuff.
Yeah, I know.
But anyway, on the biking stuff, it's interesting.
He's a pretty avid biker.
Yeah, no, avid biker. And, you know, it becomes a real security issue for the Secret Service. Bill Clinton would famously run around the Lincoln Memorial and the Potomac.
All the presidents jog, though. We've seen Obama jogging. George W. was a big jogger.
They don't like it, but they have to deal with it because presidents need exercise.
Well, guess what? The Secret Service guys need exercise, too. Right? Well, so they should actually, it's a good detail.
Also concerns about keeping people
I get
safe.
it, but while you're on the job and you're doing that, you can also be getting in a workout.
Okay.
It works out for everybody.
We will see you tomorrow on Inauguration Eve.